You've got to take the patience. Scop-a-doodle-doo.
Again, I just moved a couch. I'm very tired, and I'm going to use the script for the terrible toaster audition. A story about an audition I did a few weeks, years ago. You got to understand, as an actor, I get some very high-profile roles that come across my desk, and one was as a toaster engineer. And it was three of us. I had to work with two other actors. And we go into this room, and there's a director there, and he asks us to stand against the wall. And he's like, all right, guys, why don't you slate for me? Which means state your name. So first there was this guy, Pedro, this Hispanic guy that couldn't speak barely a lick of English, which was strange because the audition was a callback, which means they would have seen him already, realized that he didn't have the fluency needed for the part, and just not called him back. So he goes, he looks at the camera and goes, I'm Pedro Benito. And then there was this guy, Dean, who was like this very tall, handsome, go-getter, Ivy League looking type of a dude. And he looks at the camera and he's like, hi. Well, I'm Dean Johnson. That's Dean as in James Dean, and Johnson as in Don Johnson. Glad to be here. And then the camera goes to me, and I'm like, Chris Coxen. And the room was set up with a couple tables and laptops and a phone to look like a little office. And this guy, Dean, plays the boss, Lenny, who's standing behind us. And Pedro played this newer employee called Dave, and then I played a more veteran employee called Sam. And the director goes, okay, guys, action. And both Dean and I were doing this without the script, unlike now. And he, just because the director wanted that, but poor Pedro had the script like 3 inches from his face the whole time. And so I start off and I'm like, I sure am a genius. I just designed a toaster in under 6 hours. And then Pedro stumbles through his line in this very thick accent, and with a script like this, he goes, oh, Sam, if you went to toasterworks.com, you could have downloaded all the design. And then Dean comes in, toasterworks.com. Great thinking, Dave. I'm going to take you to lunch, but only subs. And then Pedro stares again at the script. Oh, that is great. I love to eat the subs. And Dean and I realized at this moment that this audition was stale soda. The whole thing went flat and just needed to be dumped down the drain and never spoken about again. And I had no negative feelings against Pedro. He was a very nice guy. I actually felt bad for him, but any momentum or rhythm that we got going would just be quickly shot down when he just stumbled through his lines. And then, out of pure evil delight, the director goes, all right, guys, let's improv a few scenes. Something crazy here has happened. Lenny, you're about to take Dave to get subs, but not Sam. So feel free to give Sam some guff about that. Go. So Dean gets right in my face and goes, oh yeah, no subs for this guy. That's because you can't design a toaster with crap. I don't know what kind of sub you're getting, Dave, but I'm getting the foot long. And so Dean carried on like this for way too long. And any time that I tried to speak, Dean would just talk right over me. And it was clear to Dean, you know, and poor Pedro was just trying to remember to breathe, much less speak improvised English. And it was very clear to me that Dean realized that the whole thing was ruined, the whole audition was ruined, and that he's just trying to commandeer the improv scene to show the world how funny he thought he was. So the director notices this, and he tries to structure another improv scene around me that actually allows me to speak. So he goes, another one, Sam. You're on the phone with your significant other, and you're trying to tell her how great you are at your job. Go. So I pretend to pick up a phone and I go, hi. And then even though the scene didn't involve Dean at all, he just barges in and goes, oh yeah, your boyfriend doesn't know how to design a toaster. He probably doesn't know how to design or use one either. He's an idiot. So the director sees this happening and he smiles a little bit. And he's like, all right, let's try to focus another scene on Sam. He goes, okay, let's focus on Sam for a moment. Sam, you love your chai tea, but guess what? You can't find it. someone has taken your chai tea. What are you going to do about it? Do this. So I start up, has anyone seen my... And then like with the predictability of like a fine German engineered mechanism, Dean storms in again, but with an offensive Chinese accent, which is great because chai tea is from India, not China. And so he goes, oh no, someone lost our chai tea. Oh no, I can't find chai, help me. And so at my wit's end, I simply just hang my head down like this and just start snoring and pretending to be asleep. And everyone was a little confused, but it got Dean to shut up, so I was happy with that. And the director just gives up at this point too, and he's like, all right, guys, thanks for coming in. And then there's like for a beat, there's just a beat of silence, and now just finding his character, Pedro shouts out happily, I like subs! And then that was that. It was beautiful. And then the next day, I swear to you, this is not a joke, the same casting agency calls me back and they asked me to audition for this role, and the only thing that the role was me pretending to be asleep in a van. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Good night.